So my name is Louise Louw. I'm 26 years old and I am from sunny South Africa. I live in Cape Town and I grew up there, but I've been in Germany for around 5 years now. My project's title is The Reception and the Representation of Traumatic Experiences in Japanese American Internment Narratives. I am focusing specifically on literature and both fictional, non-fictional texts and the different ways in which they intersect and approach history. So I'm trying to see how non-fiction texts can be seen as creative and healing works of literature within themselves, or how fiction texts can represent real human experiences. What I'm specifically looking at is how both fictional narratives and non-fiction texts approach internment history and how they portray Japanese American experiences, Japanese American identity after the war, and the ways in which the war influenced them as a cultural group. So I'm really interested in concepts of collective experience and trauma, as well as identity politics and the ways in which this changes throughout time. Specifically also looking at how American rhetoric has changed from the post-war period into today, becoming a lot more liberal and more open, and how that may or may not have influenced the ways in which we understand these texts. In terms of problem solving, my project is looking at the ways in which wartime situations and also high tension situations in countries can influence cultural groups and also identity formation afterwards. We live in a much more multicultural society today than we did 100 or so years ago, and also our understanding of how people behave in these types of situations has changed. Something that's very interesting about this project in particular is that it's a moment in history that scapegoatism happened. And now we, in the pandemic, have a huge rise in anti-Asian hate, specifically noticeable in America. So it's neither the first nor the last time that something like this has happened in history. So I'm trying to look at how we understand these multicultural spheres and how we can go about approaching different cultures. What brought me to Germany is I was really interested in German universities and the opportunity to be able to study for as long as you need or want for free. But also I started doing a master's in English literature, and the way in which they approached it in Germany was really interesting to me. So I've been in Germany for 5 years, Gießen for just 1 semester so far. Even though COVID is a bit of an odd situation in terms of getting to know people, I've actually not had that experience in Gießen. Specifically working and studying at the GCSE, I've actually had the opportunity to meet other PhD students that study similar and very, very different projects, which is really interesting, and it creates a sense of community right from the get-go, even if online or in person. So I've really been enjoying my time in Gießen.